long time no see. How we doing, besties? Just to warn you before we jump right into this situation, I slept 4 hours last night according to my Oura ring, and I feel as though that is generous. So I'm running on next to no sleep. I don't know if we've ever discussed this, but I have like this really fun thing called chronic lifelong insomnia, just forever. That's just something I get to live with, which is really fun for me. It's not every night, but at least once a week. Usually I have a night where I just like can't sleep, and there's no rhyme or reason. I've seen many doctors, tried literally everything you can think of. Like, you don't need to suggest anything, save your time. I appreciate it, but like, if it's a sleep thing, I've tried it. Thus is life. If you're wondering if I'm okay, this is the answer. No. Nevertheless, oh, that's terrible. I'm gonna drink all of it. Nevertheless, the show must go on. I have to pick up my nanny kid from preschool in 2 hours. So we have 2 hours to just really get caught up here. If I seem out of sorts, I am. Preamble aside, we have no time to waste, so let's just get into it because I have a lot of things to share with you today. It's been over a month since we've done just a standard issue podcast episode, which is crazy of me. I keep saying to not let so much time go on without making a regular podcast episode, because then this happens where I just have way too much to tell you and I inevitably forget half of it. But again, thus is life, and here we are and we're doing it now. So whew. Never been better. I've never been better, okay? Never better. First things first, I have 2 finished objects to share with you. These I finished in August, so these have been done for a little bit now. It is currently September 17th, so these have been done for like over a month. But first up, where's the right side? This is the Rolled Edge Tank by YeJi May. And I knit this in Super Glow Super Sock Base from the Flock 2024 exclusive colorway. I don't know, it's fun. I really like this pattern. YeJi May is very good at customizable patterns that really fit your body, and I was very impressed with the writing of this and the construction of this. It's very unique in construction. It has the fun little rolled edge details, and then on the bottom it does kind of a one of these situations. So it's got a lot going on actually for being such a simple little tank top, and I really enjoyed working on this actually. This was my first fingering weight garment. I was very surprised by how much I did enjoy working on this. It didn't bother my hands, which was one of my biggest concerns. I have some ongoing wrist issues, but this really didn't aggravate that any more than normal. And then also I felt like the progress actually did work up quicker than I was expecting. It was also like really portable at all stages, and I brought this with me on a lot of road trips and stuff and things this summer, so I really liked this project. 10 out of 10 would make this again. I feel like every knitter needs a crazy variegated tank top in their collection just to like signal to other knitters that I know ball. Happy to have this, happy to have it done. Yeah, it really wasn't much of a slog though, like, to be so honest. I enjoyed this. More fingering weight garments probably coming in my future. I don't know about a sweater, that seems a little bit insane, but I never said I was sane. That was finished object number 1. Finished object number 2, we have this bad boy. So this is the blouse number 1 light from My Favorite Things Knitwear. This is Universal Yarns Bamboo Pop in the color Bloom, I think. And it's a really fun mixed texture situation, and it was really fun to knit on. This was a buddy knit with my dear friend June, who probably just got out of surgery today. So everybody say, get well soon, June. We love you. Knit this as a buddy knit with June. I don't think hers is done yet. No comment. But we found this yarn during the Puget Sound local yarn store tour. Sorry, I forgot where I live. And we fell in love with it, and so we wanted to make a little matchy sweater moment because yeah, I'm really happy with it. It is doing one weird thing I don't love. I think it's because of blocking, because I block things flat, and it kind of made these little bumps right here more pronounced. I don't know, it just does something weird on my upper arms, and like I'm already rather insecure about my upper arms. So I'm like, we really don't need to be adding to that, you know, mentally. I don't need that. I might just try to do another block and like figure out a way to make the sleeves not flat and see if that helped. But other than that, I think it's really fun. It's wacky, it's weird, I don't know, it's fun. I think I knit a size large. My measurements are usually for around a size medium, and I wanted it to be a bit oversized, and I'm very happy with that call. I think it adds to the kind of like whimsical, flowy of it all. So those are the finished objects I haven't shown you yet. I'm pretty happy with both of them. I mean, not great timing on either of them because a tank top and a pretty like breezy sweater aren't exactly fall attire, but I think next year I'll get a decent amount of wear out of both of them. So thus concludes the finished object portion of today, and we're gonna move right into whips because boy oh boy do I have some updates for you. Let me preface this whip section by saying a couple of words. I've been a notoriously non-monogamous knitter for a while now, and I fear it's time I change my ways. And that is, of course, because of my friend YeJi and Made Co here on YouTube. She is a pretty die-hard monogamous knitter, and she gets so much done. I've never met somebody so productive. She locks in and she cranks out a project, and it's inspiring. Consistently baffled and amazed by her. And so I was like, you know what? What if for the rest of the year, I try to be more like YeJi? And I think that's something that all of us should do all of the time, is be more like YeJi, just in every sense. Just as an experiment, just to see if I'm actually that much more productive. And unfortunately, I do have to say I have been incredibly productive since I made the conscious decision to live more like YeJi. But there is a caveat here. I'm in grad school and my program is completely remote. And so I have a lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of recordings and a lot of just online video watching that I have to do for school. And when I'm doing that, I can't be doing nothing because of the old ADHD, but I can't be working on anything more complex than just stockinette in the round. It distracts me from my school. So it's a very fine balance I have to strike there. So I've decided that my exception to my living like YeJi rule is that I get one stockinette in the round completely basic project to work on specifically during school. So I don't work on it at any other times, just when I'm doing school. And so for my first school only project, I cast on the Berlin scarf from Paula Strict, I think. This is Drops Brushed Alpaca in the color cream, I believe. Picked this up in Denmark last summer. It's so soft and it's not itchy. This is actually a fantastic yarn and it was very cheap. The Berlin scarf is cast on with a provisional cast on so that you can add the tassels later. You just literally work in the round for scarf length. So this is perfect. I can just get in the zone, lock in on a lecture, knit my little heart out. It helps me focus, and I'm gonna get a cute scarf. It doesn't get more symbiotic than that. So happy with this decision. I do think this was a good call because I literally can't do anything involving anything but stockinette in the round. So if you have any other literally just stockinette in the round project ideas for me, I feel like I don't want too many scarves, you know, but let me know if you think of anything because I'm worried I'm gonna finish this really fast and then have months of the semester left and be like, what do I do? I think this was a good call. Oh, I'm holding the yarn double for this bad boy. I have 8 balls, 6 balls, perhaps. I'm not gonna get up to count them, sorry. So I think I'm gonna have a little bit of a shorter scarf than I may have preferred, but so it goes. And I will probably survive, so I think it'll be okay. Yeah, this is my school only project. I'm having a good time. I started this last week for my lectures. Another ongoing whip that I am just leaving to, I'm not leaving it, I'm doing a couple of rows a day on this and just letting it be kind of an ongoing situation because frankly I think this is going to die with me. But this is my excavation blanket. This is what I have so far. We're not even halfway there. But this is a really fun one to work on. This is a stash buster. I'm trying to get rid of a bunch of my scraps with this, and so far it's going good. But this isn't one I'm trying to finish in any sort of reasonable time frame. Like, I fully anticipate this being on the needles for like a year plus, and I'm okay with that. So this one's just kind of in the background doing its thing, and I'm loving it. It's very chaotic, very colorful. If you know me, you know I love that. And I use my crocheted blanket that I made a few years ago all the time, like every day. So I'm excited to have a little bit of a thicker winter version of a blankie I've made, because there's something, it's just cozier when you have a blanket that you've made. I don't know what the science is there. I almost made a SciShow joke, but I fear it's too soon. I don't know what the science is there, but it's something that makes a handmade blanket just so much cozier. I'm excited to have this one done eventually, but again, that will not be happening anytime soon. So a lingering whip I had going before I decided to change my ways was my dad sweater by Emily Curtis. So I've had this one on the needles since March, I think, according to Ravelry, which is a while for sure. But I did put it on ice over the summer and just let it kind of sit, because I didn't want to be working on a wool sweater in the summer. That sounded like a sensory nightmare. So this is where I'm at. I'm working on my first sleeve. I did the collar. It's a nice double folded collar. The sleeves on this are like actually a lot of knitting. You have to do a bunch of short rows to do a full sleeve cap, and I've never done one like that large before. So that took a lot longer than I was expecting. And then shortly after I finished the sleeve cap was when I had my revelation. So put this back on ice, but this will be what I pick up once I finish my next project, which is, of course, my Dagmar jacket. It's in quite a different state than the last time you saw her. It's now a full sweater, first of all. Look at it. Oh, it's so beautiful. I think this is the best thing I've ever made. I'm pretty sure it's all downhill from here. I am incredibly happy with how this is turning out. So this is the Dagmar jacket by Petite Knit, and I am knitting it in Lion brand Fisherman's Wool in the color Natural, which is their undyed version. And I am currently working on my first sleeve. So I hit a bit of a roadblock here, and that is because my tension while doing the seed stitch, which I believe Petite Knit calls moss stitch because it's just like a regional difference. Anyway, for me it's seed stitch, but my tension when doing the seed stitch flat versus in the round is so different. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera as much as it is in real life. My tension in the round is a lot tighter. So I noticed that, and then I was like, that is going to drive me insane. So I had to really debate as to if I needed to unravel what I had for the first sleeve and go back and do it flat, modify the pattern to have the sleeve be knit flat. But I did a poll on my Instagram, and the majority said just go with it and just keep going. And then also my friends YeJi and June in real life saw it and said it's not that bad and to just keep going and nobody's gonna notice. And I'm like, but what about me? I'm gonna notice. But I fear it's just one of those things. Like, obviously tension is different in the round versus flat. I've just never had it be this obvious before. I tried to block just the sleeve. That didn't really help. I don't know. I'm at a place where I would like this to be done because I want to wear it, because it's pretty much fall now. So I do think I'm gonna just power through and get it done. And if it really bothers me once I start wearing it, then at a later date I can go back, frog the sleeves, and do it again. But for now, I feel like I need to listen to the majority and just get it done and see where we're at there. So this is my Dagmar jacket, and this has been what I have been exclusively working on. I believe last week I only had the back and the front left panel done. So this has been quite a lot of knitting done in a short period of time, which does prove my thesis that living like YeJi is the way to go, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I do find it boring to work on one project at a time, but you cannot argue with these results. You just can't. Yeah. Really be that way sometimes. Okay, one more width. I know. This was another one I started before I had my revelation. So this is the back of the Wabi Sabi cardigan, and I am knitting this in the recommended yarn, which is BC Garn Chunky Tweed, I think. It's a bulky yarn, kind of a light bulky, with a really nice tweed throughout, and if you know anything about me, you know that I feel the need for tweed. Loving this, but I started this and then realized I need to work on one thing at a time. So this is gonna go on the back burner, probably closer to winter, because this is gonna be warm. So I don't feel like I need to have this done anytime soon because our falls are pretty mild until around November. I'm gonna finish my Dagmar, finish my dad's sweater, and then I'm planning to cast on the Annie sweater with, what a good segue into acquisitions. So I'm gonna cast on the Hanny sweater once I finish my Dagmar and my dad's sweater with this cone of yarn that I got from a yarn store in Portland that only sells cones of yarn. It's a super cool shop. You pick out the yarn that you like from a giant cone, and then the owner like winds it up onto your own cone. And then I had to take it a step further and wind a cake from the cone because I'm gonna hold it double. And I should have enough for the sweater, which seems crazy. Like, I don't know, but she said she thought I would. I didn't have a pattern picked out when I bought this. So I was like, just what do you think is like enough to get me like a size medium sweater? So I think I have 500 grams of this. It's like a light, I don't know, it's not quite a DK weight. What's the one below DK? It's that. So when I hold it together, I get like probably a worsted weight. I have a swatch. So here's my tiny baby swatch I made. And this is with 2 strands held together, so it just makes it a lot denser. I like my cardigans to be a bit dense because I usually just wear them over a t-shirt, and then if I'm wearing a cardigan that's denser, I don't have to wear a coat. So that is that logic. But I love this color. It really does look very similar to my cloud sweater that I made last year, and I think it's just because I really like this shade of green, so that's how it be. But yeah, the Hanny cardigan, it's kind of like a boxy, oversized cardigan, obviously, and I think this will be really good for that. And this is 80% wool and 20% viscose, I think. It's gonna be pretty tough wearing, which is good, but also pretty darn warm. I'm excited to cast this on real soon because I am shifted into maximum overdrive on my Dagmar. We're locked in. We have a lot of acquisitions, and that is for several reasons, okay? First being that I'm weak. Second being I panic bought because of the tariff situation, which I think a lot of us did. Third being Knitting for Olive was doing their fundraiser for UNICEF. I wanted to support that effort, so I made a Knitting for Olive order because I was worried about the tariffs, and then also they were doing the fundraiser, so I was like, okay, perfect, I'll order on the fundraiser date, and then that way I'll get my yarn before the tariffs and also, obviously, support the fundraiser. I'm happy I did that because Knitting for Olive is going to be harder to get in America now. I think they are shipping again. I don't know. Everything about this is so... I cannot keep up. I don't want to get into it because it's just going to make me angry, but it's been a very confusing time to be an American citizen, is all I will say about that. So, bought a decent amount of Knitting for Olive yarn just in case I wouldn't be able to get any more. So I have some projects in mind. The first, I'm not going to show you the entire sweater quantity, just trust that I have the whole sweater quantity, okay? But the first sweater quantity I got was merino and soft silk mohair, both in the color burnt orange. It's a really nice kind of autumnal orange. For this, I was thinking that one of my favorite things knitwear sweater that's all cabled. I really like that one, and I think this could be really cute for that. I also thought maybe an Esther jacket could be really cute, but also I'm kind of sick of knitting cardigans. So let me know what you think about that debate, but I am very excited to have something in this color. I love orange, and I love a burnt rusty orange especially, so I can't wait to feel like a pumpkin. That's great. And then I got, I think, 5 skeins of heavy merino and dusty artichoke. And to be so honest, this is a lot bluer than I thought it would be. I mean, like, I like it a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's very blue leaning, and I thought it would be more green leaning. But this is dusty artichoke. And for this, I did want to make the Esther vest. So maybe I shouldn't make the Esther cardigan. I don't know. How many Esther series items can one have without it being pathological? Ester vest was my plan for this one. I saw somebody on Instagram make a sage green-ish Ester vest, and it has been living in my head rent-free ever since. So I would like to make that dream a reality, and I'm excited for that at some point. None of these projects I have like any sort of time frame in mind for. I'm just gonna kind of let it roll and see what happens. I got, I think, 5 skeins of cotton merino in dark cognac. It's a very good brown. I think I want to make the mixed rib cami next summer out of this. I tried on YeJi's mixed rib cami and it was unfortunately a certifiable sleigh, so I think I have to make that at some point, but I got the yarn for that. Okay, this was a more recent purchase from La Mercerie, but it's also knitting for Olive. So this is heavy merino in Bordeaux because, again, YeJi and June did a buddy knit of the stripe overload cardi, and I tried on YeJi's finished object, unfortunately fell in love with it, so now I feel as though I need to join in on that moment. So I'm debating between doing the stripe overload cardigan or the stripe overload turtleneck. Either way I go, I'm planning on using this combination. Bordeaux, which is a nice burgundy wine-y color, and then Cloud, which is kind of a pink toned white cream. I think they will complement each other nicely. My friend Taylor at La Mercerie was actually the one that picked out this combo for me. I had a sweater quantity of Cloud in stash for a while, so I knew I wanted to use that, and then I was trying to figure out my contrast color, and Taylor suggested Bordeaux, and I fell to my knees and wept because this is perfect. So thank you, Taylor. You're a genius. I love this. I'm very excited to do that at some point. If you have opinions on if I should do the cardigan or the turtleneck, do tell, because I am torn. They're both so good. My last purchase from the fundraiser was merino in the color Clover Green, and I got 12 skeins of this, I think. And I'm going to hold them double and make the Tangent sweater by Engineering Knits, and I'm really excited about that one. I discovered this pattern through one of my pattern roundups, and it's another one that's just been rent-free in my head ever since, and I can't wait to make it. I love this color too. This like Kelly green is so cute, and I think it'll be a really good transitional piece from winter into spring, but also like fall and I can wear this year-round basically is what I'm saying, and I love that for me. So those were my Knitting for Olive purchases. Thank you, Knitting for Olive, for doing that fundraiser. I know it was really financially straining on them to do that, but it was really cool to see a company that I love really walk the walk, do something to support the children of Gaza, and thank you for doing that. And if you are able to support Knitting for Olive, now I think the best course of action that I have seen is to buy gift cards if you're able to at this point, so as to not overload they're having a lot of shipping craziness as well from getting caught up from the fundraiser and then everything with the tariffs. So if you're able to buy a Knitting for Olive gift card, use at a later date or give to a friend. I think that's the best way to support them right now, and I recommend doing that if you are able to, because they did some great work. Last acquisitions are from Acorn Street Shop's summer sale. They do a summer sale every year at the end of summer, and June and I went, even though we knew we shouldn't, and we were both like, I'm not gonna get anything, we just want to see what's on sale. And then we both bought sweater quantities, so that was pure delusion, thinking that we wouldn't get anything. In my defense, these were crazy cheap. I got this set of Cascade BFL, and I picked these colors all together because, I don't know, it's kind of like a nonsensical combination, but I kind of rock with it hard. Like, it doesn't make sense, and yet it makes so much sense. So I'd like to do like a stripe, some sort of stripe for this, and I'm thinking an Olga sweater, which is ironic because I'm wearing my Olga cardigan today, but an Olga sweater, just stripe it with this set of colors, I think would be really good, and somebody did suggest that on Instagram, so thank you. I think it could be fun. I don't know, and this whole sweater quantity was like $60. Cannot pass up a deal. One thing about me, I can't. So I bought them, and I stand by it. Olga sweater at some point. I think it'll be really cute. I don't know, I just like this combination. There's just something about it. Okay, so those are my acquisitions of the last month or so. Obviously a lot more than normal, and I am back on my yarn ban that I have been on after Flock and this. That was tough, that was brutal, but In my defense, there were some circumstances that were out of my control, and I felt the need to take control where I could. And this was apparently where I felt I could take control. I don't know. I'm not trying to pathologize my extensive yarn buying, but it will all get used at some point, so I'm not feeling any type of way about it, and I encourage you not to either. That gets you caught up on everything knitting related. We're not gonna do a garden update today because the garden is pissing me off. The last update I did, I mentioned that I was at war with aphids, and the aphids won. My entire herb garden got pretty much entirely annihilated. My beans are toast, and my cucumbers not good. My sweet peas are done for the year, so that's sad. And basically the only thing I have going right now are tomatoes and cucamelons and a couple of bell peppers. So it's really not that exciting, and it's overall, I'm just rather angsty about it. So no garden update. I'm upset. I mean, next year I will not be planting nasturtiums. I think that goes without saying. I garden in a community garden, and the majority of us did get aphids this year. So I don't know if it was just a bad aphid year or what, but I'm not happy with it. So it goes, but no garden update. In terms of other crafty type things that I've been doing, I have been on my candle making grind. 'Tis the season. So I just have one to show you because I've updated my labels. So this is a pumpkin spice, but I got, oh my god. It's so extra. Nobody asked me to do this. I don't sell these. This is just for fun. I got a cat wax seal stamp in Portland, and I got some black wax. So I could make wax seals of the black cat, because I call my little candles Black Cat Candle Co. Again, even though I don't sell them, it's just for fun. I just love a cohesive branding moment. Sorry. Sue me, I guess. I don't know. Don't. I got the cat and I got the wax, and I was like, that'll be so fun. So I did like the drip wax with like a lighter, and I just dripped the wax onto the candle at first, and then it started catching on fire quite a bit. As it was dripping, it was like fire, which was sick, but I don't think my landlord would love that. So I got a glue gun, and I got wax that you can feed through the glue gun. So now I just use the glue gun to make the seals, and that seems to be a lot safer. Anyway, yeah, been making a lot of candles. Been doing a lot of chai and just like pumpkin warm scents, which has been really fun. And I bought 20 pounds of wax, so watch this space. Cannot stress that enough. So that's fun. Other than that, school is good. As you would suspect, it's been a lot, but it's good. Just a lot of reading, a lot of homework. I'm taking a stats class, which is the first math class I have taken since my junior year of high school. So that's been kind of a trip. I've never been a math person. I was always a language arts girly. Yeah, so it's been a bit of a challenge to get back into a math grind set mindset. But actually, it's been going better than I was expecting. Like, I was really preparing myself for the worst. And granted, like, every homework assignment I do for stats takes me 2 hours, but I'm comprehending it. Like, I'm understanding what I'm doing. It's just taking me a long time to do it. So that's not terrible. You know, like, it could be worse, for sure. And then I have, like, an ethics class and a foundations of counseling class. So I have a lot going on school-wise. It's my first full-time semester in my grad school program. My summer semester was all part-time. So it's my first time doing full-time school, part-time work, and YouTube. And I keep signing up for classes. My community center does scholarships, and as a student, I am eligible for the scholarships, and so I get classes at my local community centers for crazy cheap. So I've been taking advantage of that. So I signed up for a ceramics class, which I'm loving. It's so fun. I did my first wheel throwing yesterday. It was a lot harder than I was expecting. I broke my first mug. I ended up only making little like dishes. By the end of the day, I felt like I had a better feel for the wheel. And it's just like you have to be very methodical with all of your movements when you're doing ceramic making on a wheel. And from the videos I've seen, it just looks so easy. And then I got in there and I was like, oh no, this is actually very difficult, very fun. So I'm loving that. And then I also signed up for a Pilates class, which has been kicking my ass. In a good way. I don't know how the girlies do it. But the best part about the community center is it's always just me and a bunch of like retired people, which is where I thrive, truly. put me in a room with some grandmothers, I can work that crowd. So I have a great time. So that's been fun, but that's also been contributing to my busyness. And then I do my babysitting for my former nanny kids on the side, and overall it's just a lot going on right now over here, and I'm just trying to take it day by day and not get too overwhelmed. So far so good. I feel good. It's just a lot. Anyway, yeah, there's a life update you didn't ask for. So I'm gonna try to get back on a better schedule for filming and make sure I'm getting regular content up, because this is something I do genuinely love doing, and I don't want it to fall to the wayside in the midst of the chaos. I will be trying to adjust that a little bit more. I'm thinking probably like every other week for uploads now is reasonable, which I wish I could do every week, but it's just, I don't know if that's feasible. We're all about smart goals here, so attainable is the A. We will call it there, and I can have a little bit of time before I go pick up my kiddo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry I was gone for a month. I'll see you guys real soon. I pinky promise.